Chamber. Finance.
Don't have anything at this time.
Fire. Human resource.
Don't believe I have anything at this time either.
Police.
No.
Street.
Sure. We had our meeting the other day, and we're working towards coming up with the streets that we'll be addressing next year and in the next few years as well, and getting cooperation from the City of Light, Gas and Water to make sure that we plan ahead and get the streets, the infrastructure under the streets that need to be addressed at the same time, so that once we get these new paved streets in, then we're comfortable and happy with that. There won't be any cuts in the street, so otherwise, that's it for now.
Departmental. Fire.
Right here, too, well, the mayor and part-time employee, Gerald Horton and myself, we worked out the town, got rid of the Constantine wire that was around it. That was one of the things Mervyn wanted us to get done, so it came down rather easy and we disposed of it. And so we got that taken care of, hopefully that won't be a gig on us. And we also got the wooden brake, windbreak panels for them. We did have an incident out at fire station number 2. Don't know if you've heard it on the news or not, where an individual that run throughout the community and created some havoc with his vehicle. Early Tuesday morning, he took out about 30 feet of chain link fence and busted through a wooden privacy fence. Came within 6 inches, he stopped before hitting the building out at number 2. And been some damage out there. Police have made an arrest. Damaged some residential property in several areas throughout the city prior to that. So don't know if he has insurance or not yet. Find out if that's covered. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report. We'll have the monthly total for last month. We'll get to you in the next meeting, and then we'll be working on the year-end total for the first year. Any questions? Not, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Representative, Street.
Good evening. Skip the report, you got it in front of you. I don't think there's anything in particular that needs to be brought out in that. Remind you, everybody else, that the sweeper is running as much as possible. Hauling quite a bit. Had a lot of leaves on the drains this morning from the rain overnight, so we're working on that. We're still trying to pour concrete. Cold weather's coming, and we're working around that. Still trying to make some patches. This thing I wanted to mention tonight was that we had our first stormwater committee meeting last Tuesday, and it was kind of an organizational meeting. Victor and I tried to pass on some information, try to get the people educated a little bit about what the program was going to be. There was a lot of discussion. There was no votes or anything. There's nothing to really report, mostly just a evening of discussion about the program, and some thoughts and ideas and what might happen. So as those develop, you will be hearing from us. But I wanted to let you know we did meet, but it's just kind of putting our toes in the water to test it right now, almost to a point, if you will. So we will be getting back with you on that. And not only the committee, but there'll be some involvement from the council and different things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Get into new business, ordinance for the stormwater.
This is an ordinance which formally organizes the stormwater or establishes the stormwater management committee. And first reading is an ordinance establishing the Stormwater Management Committee of the City Council. And as you can see, it's in front of you, the members of the committee are, 2 members from, Street Committee, Mayor Pro Tem, the Finance Chair, and the Street Commissioner, Code Enforcement Officer, members as of now.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All fair side?
Aye.
Second reading, an ordinance establishing a Stormwater Management Committee of the City Council.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Passes. Next, we have an ordinance to change the demolition permit.
And this is to change the expiration date on the demolition permit. And first reading is an ordinance amending section 105.5 of the International Building Code as adopted by the City of Kennett to change the expiration date of demolition permits from 180 days after the date of issuance to 90 days from the date of issuance. The problem that the code enforcement officers had is that somebody gets a permit to demolish an unsafe building and then really can't do anything to them for 6 months under the current ordinance. If they don't get it done, this shortens that to 90 days.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Second reading, an ordinance amending section 105.5 of the International Building Code as adopted by the City of Kennett to change the expiration date of demolition permits from 180 days after the date of issuance to 90 days from the date of its issuance.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. Aye.
Good.
Mr. Mayor, council members, and citizens of Kennett, myself, Paul Spain, Mary Jerry, we are here on behalf of the Kennett Source Water Protection District. And this is to give you guys a little bit of information, good news of acquisition from Missouri Department of Natural Resources that the city of Kennett has received a certificate of endorsement considering us a source water protection district. Give you a little bit of background about what this is and what this does for us, and we'll entertain any questions you may have. The background of the Source Water Protection District deals with the health of a community, includes clean and safe drinking water. Protecting the sources of our municipal drinking water is an important step towards ensuring that there is enough safe, clean drinking water for all of us. Land use activities have the potential to harm your municipal drinking water system or sources if not properly managed. Drinking water sources protection allows us to identify some of these activities that may occur and pose a risk to our drinking water quality. There are certain source water protection plans that are utilized to manage the activities responsibly. The responsibility for protecting municipal drinking water sources is a partnership between municipalities, between Missouri Department of Natural Resources and the City of Kennett. There are different roles and responsibilities for each level of government. The Source Water Protection Committee members have been appointed by the City Light, Gas, and Water Municipality to guide in the development of source protection plans. Source Protection Committee, at its full implementation, which we're not quite there yet, will be comprised of municipalities, farmers, businesses, industries, residents, and members of the public. To our source water plan that we have, there are 5 primary categories. 1 is the planning team. 2 is delineation, which we kind of recognize the areas around some of our wells that we utilize for drinking water. Inventory and related information to these wells. Management plans, education, and public involvement. That's where the committee kind of comes into play here. We go forth and give a little bit background and anything that needs to be implemented in protecting our wells, as well as being part of the emergency operations plan. So again, I do believe City Clerk has received
The
this endorsement.
certificate is in the lobby on display.
Good, good. So, on behalf of the Protection Committee, we want to thank you. And again, this is a good opportunity for the city of Kennett. It will assist in any future grants regarding with the water system for the city. And this will assist us greatly in acquiring some of those.
I want to add that we've already received 2 grants since we started the development of the Source Water Protection Committee. Both grants in total have allowed us to abandon one of our old wells that we got rid of and replaced with a new well. And it's fixing to take care of 56% of the cost of the second well. And the second well was a deep well, which the cost actually tripled. But we still got full 100% coverage of the grant. It's just it's so expensive to get rid of this abandonment of this deep well. It only covers 56% of the cost of it. So, but both grants was full 100% funding. So one of the areas that we meet most of the criteria we already meet. One of the areas that we're going to have to start focusing on, we couldn't until we approached you and gave you a copy of the plan, is the involving the public. And the way you do that is you educate the public. We're going to get funding for brochures, a part of a source water protection grant that's going to be coming in after the first of the year. And then from there, we'll start getting back with you on some brochures that you can put out. We're going to start hitting schools, civic organizations, stuff like that, and educating what this plan is. 90% of it's already been in place since I've been in Light and Water, which is about 17 years. So now this is just tidying up all the loose ends and putting a plan together that the city of Kennett can actually, say we do have a source water protected town.
That's great.
Good work, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I don't know if people in Kennett really appreciate your water system here. Being from Texas and knowing firsthand, a lot of areas in the state, when you go, you drink milk, Cokes, or some other beverage. You can't drink the water. So I have a personal appreciation for a good water supply. Thank you guys for your efforts. Keep it going. At this time, I'd like to request the council to reappoint Dr. Steve Poos to the Board of Public Works. This will be for a 4-year term to end November 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This time, we'll open the floor for public comments.
Won't be much.
First of all, I want to thank the city for doing the streets. I'm able to really drive a lot better at night. You put those yellow lines down and everything, and that helped me make my turn better. And I just want to thank you for doing that. But what we here tonight for is because the concern in our community. For the last 3 weeks, it's been a shooting. Somebody's coming through there shooting at this one particular house up there by Mason's Cafe. And some of them last Saturday got out the car and jumped out and went to running. And they ran down Jackson Street and a house was shot in. 905 North Jackson, and that lady, innocent people could get killed. And we need more protection. We need the police force to come out there and kind of sit around Masons and watch and see, because this done happened 3 weeks in a row. And it's just pitiful. We're going through all of this. And that's what we're here for, to see can we get some kind of protection. Because now the police do come when they're called, but their question is, how many bullets did you hear? Did you see who was doing it? And nobody never says a word. So whatever you can do to help us get some kind of protection, we would appreciate it.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you coming forward. Police chief's not here tonight, but this will be turned over to the police department.
Good evening to the council.
Good evening.
I'm just gonna piggyback on what my wife just said. It's not only that, but I had discussed this with the mayor once before, that we got too much drug activity that's going on. A lot of times, this is what's causing this to happen, when you got gangs shooting at each other over drug deals. And we got certain hot spots in our community that need to be cleaned up. We got several houses, like clockwork, it's like McDonald's. Every time you turn around, somebody driving through. If they're not driving through, they walking through, they doubling up on bikes, dropping their partners off and going around the block, picking them back up or dropping them off in cars. It's very obvious to everybody that goes by there what's exactly is going on. It's been going on for quite some time in this area. And because when that happens, you get all these perpetrators coming along, either breaking in somebody's house or shooting up somebody's house. And you all know, living here in Kennett all these years, I've been here 35 years, the infrastructure of most of these houses cannot withstand a bullet. It will go through the wall. And I'm afraid that a lot of these young, innocent children that we have, our children here in Kennett, are gonna end up getting killed because of all these unnecessary drive-by shootings. Now, I know our police force tries to do the best they can. They come out, they'll try to get information from the residents, and it's amazing to me how somebody can watch you all day long and tell you from 1 minute to the next exactly what you're doing, but the minute a crime is committed, nobody sees a damn thing. It's sad. So as citizens, we're up here to let you know that we are concerned with our neighborhood. We're concerned with our ward. We are in Ward 1. Now, I notice here on the council that none of the wards are numbered up here. It's good for us to know who exactly, when we come in here, our ward council members are. So if we got an issue that we can't get to the mayor about, we can talk to you. So that you all can get a hold of our police people. Our police try to do the best job they can. We talked about the issue about the fireworks, and the council is trying to see what we're gonna do this past year. I hope and pray that the situation is a little bit better off than it was last year. But this issue right now at hand is totally ridiculous. For us to be living in fear. Most of the people here have been in this community longer than I have. And I settled here because at that time Kennett was a very good community to live in. It was thriving. Our kids had things to do. Now with all of our industry and everything gone, we have nothing but crime coming into this city. And most of it is not from the residents and their children who lived here. It's for people who have moved here that have been outcast in other cities around us. So they're bringing all their problems in here to Kennett. We need to be a little bit more vigilant, a little bit more strong about what we're gonna do as far as cleaning up our communities around here. So with that, I hope and pray that you all take in consideration what I'm saying concerning the citizens in this town. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Have anyone else like to address the council?
I would like to say, as a community minister and pastor of the Lighthouse Church, that I think we could maybe best help the police if we could get some addresses where all this traffic is.
They know where it's at.
Well, I'm just a kid on the block. If we could provide them with that information, then we could follow up with the police department and ask them what actually have they done about it, rather than just at random say, you know, they're busy like McDonald's.
Well, I stopped the police and I asked them, and they said, we're watching it, and it's been 6 months ago, and they still flowing and going.
And I have to admit that I've also spoken to, as I said, on several issues about this and identified the exact locations, and all I see is people considering looking like McDonald's right today.
Well, maybe if the council or the city could provide us with some insight on community watch, where we could be armed with cell phones and cameras and taking down tag numbers and providing that kind of stuff to the council or to the police. That would help the people coming from out of town over here shooting. Because once they come in and gun for somebody, I used to be in drugs and all that in my early life, and you don't owe your drug dealer. You pay him, or some of your family will. And so a lot of innocent people can get hurt. And the only way that I know of, and I'm 70 years old, is to get the police involved and have community watch where we can be on the alert for strangers coming in our communities, tag numbers and things like that. And maybe that can help you all, help us in a greater way. Because our children, and not only our children, but your children, are in danger of becoming addicted with these new drugs that they're introducing, and the kids are trying them. I've gone to hospital on numerous occasions where the children have overdosed, and then as the hospital chairman, council chaplain, having to deal with some of the ones in First Step. And this new drug, synthetic something, they know what it is, I don't. But they're getting it earlier, and it's causing them to steal from their families, causing them to write bad checks, and this is only increasing our community. And if we as citizens can be proactive and grab a hold of it, it's not only going to help my grandchildren and their children, but it's also going to help yours. Because when I was a drug dealer, I didn't just target the black people. I target folks with money. And you can sell a little crack, but the hard stuff is a little bit more expensive, and the poor folks don't buy it. So they'll either come to my garage and steal my lawnmower, and once they get mine, then they come to your community, and they'll be looking for yours. So if we can get some kind of community cameras or something, like we did in Memphis, and put the cameras up, and community watch where people be on the alert for that kind of stuff, it will certainly be a help to us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Certainly appreciate your time this afternoon, and I would have to say my name is Loretta Pulliam. I would have to say that I heard what our good bishop said concerning our commitment to watch our neighborhood. And I want you to know that
Excuse
we
me
live.
just 1 second. We were invited some of our policemen in.
Sure.
I'd like them to hear some of this
Absolutely.
firsthand, and then we've got some questions for them. I'll be here to answer. Sorry for the interruption.
Again, we live in the neighborhood that we're speaking of, and I've lived there since I was 5 years old. I live in the neighborhood. I don't participate in the activities of the neighborhood because they're not conducive to my lifestyle. So when we hear the citizens who live in that neighborhood talking about the gunshots and the drive-through service, we don't necessarily see those things with our eyes because at 10 o'clock I'm at home. At 1 o'clock in the morning I'm at home. But I can hear what's going on. I don't necessarily see it, but I can hear it. And it is not my only responsibility as a citizen of Kennet, Missouri, that pay taxes. It is the police's job and the police's duty to drive into our neighborhoods and to have those seats and to be observant. And that is what we're asking. Because I own a gun, but I'm not just going to walk out of my house and start shooting because I hear gunshot. You understand what I'm saying? So I can't be the police department. That's not my job. That's not my job description. My job is to report to the police and to say a legal citizen in Kennet, Missouri. My job is to request and to ask for your help, and that is what we are here tonight doing, requesting and asking for the help of the police department so that they can become those vigilant eyes at 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock in the morning. Not for me to sit outside at 10 o'clock and 1 in the morning and take driver's license or tag numbers, I should say. That would be dangerous for me to do. I'm not going to do it. But I am going to request that my tax dollar come to my neighborhood and protect me. On the side of their car it says to protect and to serve. We are not in any means or any form saying that the police is not doing their job. So don't get me wrong on that, and I think that's kind of how it's interpreted. We don't believe that they're not doing their job. Our neighborhood has not been an aggressive neighborhood. Yes, drug sales happen. Yes, this, that, and the other. But no, not until about a year and a half ago did we start having the other part of the coin to drop, the shoe to drop, and that's the gunfire. Now, we're scared of that. Do not like the drugs, but the gunfire is scary, period. Period. It's like playing Three Little Pigs. Somebody got a brick house, somebody has a straw house, somebody has a house of wood. If you're in the wrong house at the wrong time, and that bullet comes through, as it did the other day, innocent people could get hurt. Innocent people. And when people are literally running down the street, Wild Wild West style, and shooting. And when we call the police, several people call the police. Now it seems like an eternity for us for them to get there. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't time it, but it just seemed like it took forever. And all we're doing is asking that we be protected and we be served. That's all we're doing is asking that. And that's where we are. The neighborhood that we still live in needs to be protected and served. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you very much. Anyone else like to speak? Sorry, we kind of got you in on the, about a minute.
Mr. Mayor.
I guess I'm about the oldest, I forget so quick, I don't know. But I called last week and I don't know who I talked to, maybe with you. Okay. Well, I tried to reach I don't know who either chief of police is. I've tried several times to get hold of them, I can never get hold of anybody. And there's some ladies, whoever they are, answer the phone, but I get no service, you know. Well, I've been here long, about over 60 years, I think. And I'm too old to run. When they go to shooting, I'm scared to look out the window, you know, because things can happen. But the only thing I'm saying is, you know, I've been to up north a while, and they look like everybody's moved out of north, and I think they all came down here. And people's homes are just, you know, destroyed. I don't want to leave. I'm too old to leave. I want to stay here until the Lord comes, you know. So I just thought maybe if somebody would help us out, we'd be all right until they come, you know. But I mean, it's getting bad, really. It's really getting bad. And because we had 3 shootings within a week. Within a week. That's too many. I've been here a good while. We've never had that. And we always knew our kids that grew up here. We knew each child, what family, you know. But these people here, I don't know who they are. We used to talk about Haytide and Brotherville, but I declare it. We worse over here now than they are. And so we just needed somebody to, and what I'm talking about, getting somebody to get identification number. I sat and watched the garden down there, you know where the garden is. The police sat down there, and they going to a certain place, just like they going to the grocery store. One of the crack houses. The police was sitting at the garden, and they see it. And I don't know why they don't do anything about it. They see it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Listen, I know we caught you cold. You got to hear about half of the people speak here. I'm sure you got the drift of what the problems are, and you probably are aware of them.
Yes, sir.
To start with, so anything you can comment to these good people?
We'll try to start having more extra patrol in your area. I know that, you know, there's more people coming into town than what there has been. But we're gonna attempt to start having more extra patrols in the area. Maybe that'll try to help a lot.
I hope we will, but you know, this generation, people seem to be a little loose in the head or something wrong with them.
The new generation.
Something wrong.
And you might talk about like when you're trying to build a case, it takes a little while.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time before we can, you know, end up finding out who's doing the shooting. But with the help of the community, it helps a lot. A lot of times when we go up there, people, you'll ask people if they saw
They
anything,
didn't
and
say anything.
they don't see a thing.
The scared they gonna get shot, cause you're known but for putting people's names out, because I've tried to help tell something, and I asked the person not to call my name. They went right ahead and
On
said,
this scam?
and told who said it. We scared to tell anything. People don't want their house shot in. Yeah.
Yeah, anytime that you wanna come to the police department and talk, that'd be easier than talking in the public, so people
Right.
can't, they won't see you talking to us. So, I mean, if anytime at all y'all wanna come up, it'd be
Well, I
great.
always call up.
Yes,
Man,
ma'am.
I called one time, they had a thing of gambling everywhere. And I called the police department and had them to come out, and one of the police came out and said to him, oh, so Miss William called. And said, that's the only reason I'm out here.
They listen on the
They
scanner.
can hear it on the scanner too.
He didn't hear that, he heard that.
Police told that right out his
He should have said it. Said, Miss, only reason I'm here, Miss William called. And they was over there with that porch gambling. And I said, my God, he gonna get me killed.
You can believe that a lot of these people have scouts out looking, they have phones, they've got scanners listening to the very network that you all have.
Yes.
So by the time you all show up, they've scattered and gone into hiding, and when you leave, they're laughing because they know exactly when you're gonna show up.
It's a bad thing, scanner traffic's out there.
Well, you don't have to have no scanner to watch that house on corner of Vanderbilt and Commercial.
Okay.
That's the
It's right across the
McDonald's.
street from our church, St. John.
Right across on the street. They run in, they got a circle drive in there.
That's where the shooting is, you all ought to know that. It's
Yes,
right-
do?
Yeah, it's up
It's
there,
right
that's where the
there
shooting, three
On the
times.
corner of Commercial and Baldwin.
They know, cause they done came out there.
Commercial and Vanderbilt and commercial involved.
Right.
Yeah. I will make sure that you'll start getting more extra patrol. I'll pass it on to all the officers, and hopefully we can.
And one other thing too, there are people parking in that people's property that don't even live in the community. They just come up there and park and they just sit in their cars and do what they do, and they don't even belong to the community.
Can I ask a question? Do we have a city ordinance about parking on the street? Aren't you supposed to be parking on your property if you're a homeowner?
You can't obstruct, we have one against obstructing traffic. We don't, except on certain streets that are named, we don't have anything that says you can't park on the street. But if you're obstructing traffic, then that, you can be ticketed for that.
Well, I've been here 35 years, and there's certain blocks on my street that I won't even go down because they're always obstructed where you can't even get down through there. And these people will not move. They'll sit right there in the street and continue their conversation from car to car and block everything off and make you wait until they ready to move. And this is not a problem that's just now happening. It's been going on since I've been here.
And guess what, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna
And the officers don't think I came here to complain and say you're not doing your job. I want you to know you're doing a wonderful job, because without you, I don't know what we would do.
Without you, it would be God said.
We just ask them for more help if you can give us some.
Yes, ma'am, we'll
We'll
see.
get you some more patrol over there.
Okay, thank you.
We would like
Would you-
all
would you hear
the
some of this
people around the
firsthand?
community, because it's not good for the community, but you never gonna do that. But, we just have to be open-minded, and some things we just gonna have to accept in our society. And we shouldn't, but we have to
You don't
tolerate
have to
it.
accept it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Anyone else would like to address the council? Council, do you have anything else you'd like to bring up?
Mayor, I do have one thing I'd like to bring up.
Yes, sir.
Diane passed out a sheet that I requested some information on last week about how much money was generated from merchant license, building permits, and city stickers. if you'll take a look at the totals from 2012 and 2013, it's a lot more money than what I anticipated it would be. I would like to ask Mr. McVeigh to look into what it would take to get that reinstated where we can start collecting that revenue.
Most likely, we're probably going to put it on ballot, but I'll see if there's any other way.
If I remember right, these were specified on the ballot, and took them away.
Instead of zero amount, we eliminated it. It may do it, but I'd like the council at least consider maybe getting behind something like that, and maybe getting it on the cause of what it is.
We had a meeting the other night, some of you, most of you here, but the new regulations on sales tax, if we go out and add additional sales tax, areas like this, we're gonna have to scrutinize and see if we possibly can reinstate some of this. And a lot of the discussion about adding back property tax, but again, there's a whole process to go through, and if you get it on the ballot, it's successful getting it passed, time the assessment's put out, and you collect any revenue, you probably, starting now, would be looking at around 2019 before you'd see any money. So it's a long-range solution, but it's certainly not, doesn't get us from today to 2019. So if you have any thoughts like this, please bring them forward. Steve and I have had a lot of discussions about different avenues that we can visit to try to come up with some additional revenue, and there's just not a lot of opportunities. And we didn't have any numbers, of course, from the state yet, it's still early in the month, but for the next council meeting, we should have our tax numbers in in the month of November. We should be on that. Anything else you like? Not for adjournment.